Another just answering questions with waptek, and I just had to give my webcam eyebrows. Thanks for answering my question. Quantum physics is confusing. Every video I watch just makes it worse, especially when it comes to parallel universes. I can't grasp that one for the life of me. Every moment of your life, every decision you make, every breath you take, I'll be watching you, results in a split of your now self into an infinite number of future selves, all of which are unaware of each other. Yikes. Okay. The idea here is that the universe itself almost has to have multiple parallel universes that happen, but it's not the decisions we make. It really isn't. It's not that we have a fixed fate either. It's that we have a limited number of possible combinations, and we then exist within that new one. There isn't actually a requirement that there's multiple universes. It's a conclusion. The next thing is, we're talking about the multiple universes thing on a quantum level. We're talking about individual subatomic particles and atoms. These are only the ones that have demonstrated the inability to be predictable literally, meaning they can't just have one outcome. They literally are on that split 50-50 shot where they can't land on edge. They have to be A or B, so they have to be both. This is the Schrodinger's cat thing. This doesn't actually apply to you and me in general, and it's good to remember that. Remember, these are conclusions based on somebody studying one layer of reality and then concluding it must be on a macroscopic level. That doesn't actually happen, for the same reason that the atoms in your body do actually touch. But on a practical level, the cores of the atoms can't. That doesn't mean the atoms can't touch. That doesn't mean you can't touch a cup of coffee. Next one. The guy in Delphi, nor his family, I guess it's why they didn't come forward. Everyone has assumed that he's a killer. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Next one, part of it. I think this has been chopped up wrong here. Okay, but anyway, let's go on with it. Not sure how I got to this YouTube channel, but a couple of points brought up resonate with me. And this is a long one, so here we go. That's what she said. The lying. We live in a scary time where we're entering some real-life 1984 crap. Lying and obfuscating truth has always been a norm in politicians, but now we're in the phase where we're being told that our eyes and ears are lying to us. This is scary. Sure, there are news outlets that are biased all across the spectrum. Sure, they have biased viewpoints and don't tell the whole story. However, for the most part, the things they say are true. They just don't inform you of the other point of view. That is the big characteristic of it. A real journalist will tell you facts. They won't literally just lie. Okay. We've always had biased news, but now that it can be deemed fake news, people are saying, I have a different opinion, therefore the news is fake. People's opinions are becoming more relevant than facts. Politicians know it. This is a truly horrifying time to live in, regardless of your politics. There's a precedent being set here. Next, he says, or second. On the topic of politicians and our government not doing enough for the people. Now, I don't know you. Excuse me, my neck hurts. I don't know your issues, but something I read yesterday still seems relevant. The majority of non-metropolitan counties in the U.S. don't have a psychiatrist, and almost half lack a psychologist. This has resulted in public health crisis. Rural Americans are suffering from psychiatric conditions and are more likely to encounter police than receive treatment. Each year, 2 million mentally ill Americans, most of whom aren't violent criminals, end up in jail. Yeah, that is a problem. Because most of the time, it's a temporary thing, or it's a chronic thing that can be taken care of if you just acknowledge it and help fix it. We had an opiate epidemic in the past. We have kids going on shooting sprees, and whether it's a problem with the access to high-powered firearms, or if it's more to do with mental health, either way, enough is not being done. I don't mean to rant. I also want to bring up, people bring up specific drugs that they want to demonize and say that's causing the mass shootings. The majority of people who are on medications of any kind, including Ritalin, aren't violent and don't hurt anybody. Just pointing that out. That may actually tick off a lot of people who are screaming absolutes, and you're not leaning that way, but it's just to point that out, that a shooter doing something bad doesn't set the rule for everybody who never fired a gun. Okay? Just, let's go on here. Here we go. Yeah. I think we are falling behind in some very important areas. I'm not being partisan here because I absolutely hate politics. I do too. I don't dip into it unless it's on fact basis, which is one of the reasons I've gone out of my way to take what some people have asked me, are you doing the devil's advocate or you really believe this? Yes. I don't say things I don't believe unless I tell you I'm just smoking, potatoes here. I don't care what side anyone endorses, but if you think the other party is the problem and your party does not lie, then you're part of the problem. We can do better. Next. Ladies, if you need to wear that much cologne, please don't. Next. Seriously, ladies, stop doing that. And men, don't do that either. It's Burma shave, not aftershave, right? Anyway, next. Someone shouted out your channel on her live the other day. She has 40,000 subscriptions. Yes, and now all of a sudden when people type in waptek, instead of getting God culture, it brings up the murders in Delphi. It brings up Delphi. I just saw that today. Also, YouTube conveniently excluded me from a couple of my accounts and made me have to do a bunch of BS to get into them. Bastards. So, anyway. You can watch such and such video recently on his timeline. He lives in Delphi and is based on facts, not biased. And I'd love your thoughts on it. I might review that. Let's wait for the large truck to finish being large. Also, I'm in the city of Portland, and they made a rule that the fire truck has to show up for everything, even things that have nothing to do with fire, instead of not having to show up. And the excuse they gave, well, the reason they gave was, safety and medical reasons. But the actual reason is because the union demanded that they get equal usage of the equipment. It's a waste of resources. Just saying. But anyway, you can, I'll love your thoughts on it. I'll link to the video under this. Have a great night, sir. Oh, my neck hurts. And I think we all like you and just want you to have a home and be more comfortable, is why we ask so many questions about your life. Yeah, currently I'm dealing with the fact that people shutting down businesses early on Sundays or on special days makes it to where people have nowhere to go. I'm a person who has the ability to buy a cup of coffee and sit down and not bother anybody. And I'm essentially forced to exist like the homeless people that people would like to, in some cases, shoot in mass. Yes, that's a piece of tape above the camera. That lens is really good at picking up shit I don't want. Anyway, here we go. Look at my face, for instance. Anyway, here we go. It's pretty long. You could possibly play at faster speed or skip it. If it's a 1 hour long video and it doesn't have a synopsis below, or somebody doesn't give me a timestamp to go to, I will do it sometimes, but I can't guarantee it. It's not that time is money with me or anything like that. It's just that I literally can't sit through a video, especially streams, where people are talking and I only see half the conversation and it's not really informative. I'm restricted to 15 minutes on most of my channels. One of them isn't restricted. That was the one that was locked out. But I still limit them to around 15 minutes to make them downloadable, and also it forces me to be terse to get to the point. Next one. The scouts, the two scouts, father and son, are such and such person. You can read it below. There is a dude called Derek Godsey, who makes videos every day accusing them, but locals I've spoke to say it ain't them. Yeah, it's one of many channels that found some random person they didn't like to blame this on, witch hunting. And yeah, if you don't have proof of what you're saying, well, I'm just asking questions. Okay, well, you're just going to jail. That is actually something that causes those kind of laws to be in place. They shouldn't be in place. I should be able to say, NSERV in Australia is guilty of mooning Parliament. It doesn't matter that it's completely untrue. I'm standing by it. And maybe off to the left a little bit. But if somebody's doing something like this that could destroy someone's life, no, actually that should be a court case. I would have thought they would have been arrested if it was them, but who knows what's going on with the cops' brains. Not much. I do know that if that was an easy out, they would have done it. It's not just that, like I said in the previous video, if they have a strong indication someone's a threat to the community, that would be a definition of threat to the community, killing two people like that. This would be absolutely a thing that would be shut down. Next. Let's see. The last press conference, in my opinion, was designed to create drama, and drama created. How that is going to bring justice, I have no idea, because nobody seems to know what they meant to be looking for. New sketch, old sketch, etc. Video of guy on bridge. I'm confused to say the least. I'm presuming it's motivated a specific way, I can't say in the video. Because although the cops won't say it, I can't help notice that every suspect they brought up has a specific background. The specific background is because they're easily blamed. The cops are looking for someone to blame. The cops are looking for someone that's easy to blame, that no one will ever have a problem with them throwing in jail, even if they're not guilty. They're desperate. They don't know what they're doing. And they're really scared of the state or federal government getting involved and actually doing an investigation any more than they already have. I'm fairly sure if they ever catch the guy, it's going to be somebody that nobody has ever heard of, rather than one of these people that have been in the spotlight over the last couple of years. If I was the bridge guy, I would be concerned for my safety, because I think there are people that would take care of it themselves rather than involve law enforcement. I guess that makes sense why this guy or his family haven't come forward. Everyone can assume that they would treat him like he was a killer, whether he was guilty or not. Okay, that's where they came from. Okay. And let's see. That's about it for the videos for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And review. Quantum physics is not based on multiple universes splitting off, although it sure seems like it, and in a way it could. But there are a certain limited number of combinations and possibilities. Except when an atom bomb goes off or a star explodes. Then, shit, yeah, that actually happens. Next, as for the two scouts, thank you for acknowledging, or at least giving me the information on who they were and who was being accused. And I know it would be somebody doing a witch hunt against somebody they probably didn't like. Maybe it was somebody they didn't like because they couldn't get a merit badge. Next, next on the lying in society, we have had this happen before. This isn't the first time, as I mentioned with witch hunts. And it's been ongoing, but it used to be something that you kind of hid in the closet. Now everybody's out and proud contrarian, or just full of shit. And I do appreciate the person doing a shout out for me on 1 or 2 videos I did on the subject, but I did them before on a previous channel, and all I got was flack, because I didn't take the side of the police. I took the side of, we don't have any better knowledge, and honestly, no one has any better information, and all you're going to accomplish by speculating is being guilty of ruining someone's life without need. Unlike every other shooting, every other incident, every other tragedy where something happens and we actually know what's happened and people have to pick some bizarre thing involving space aliens, this is one of those things where we can't even do that. We can't even have the comfort of making it a mythology. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'll do any more videos on the subject, and I probably shouldn't, because I don't really have anything more to contribute. Except for the same thing I said before. They need to release all of the data because they can't do anything with it better. They need to stop assuming they can have an advantage, a tactical or legal advantage of any kind, by not revealing all the information, because honestly it's more about finding the person who's guilty and throwing them in jail, rather than trying their best to be able to make sure that they could get away with getting the maximum sentencing. I'd rather just know who it is so we can avoid them. Even if they can't arrest them, we have a right to know who did it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.